Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party successfully scoured the laboratory of the Scar Concord erected beneath the farmlands of Toradana. Returning to their siege encampment to ready a plan, the party divided themselves up among the various tasks that had been set to accomplish. Lucian studies the notes left behind by Dr. Kaloum, who it appears, in the wake of Dr. Knight's disappearance, has taken up her position as head of Icar research. However, unlike her, he does not believe the Icar beasts are unique creatures to be tended, but a disease to be cured. And to that end, he has enlisted the assistance of Governor Barbarous, who has decided to use the Icar for something unique, rather than combining and multiplying unique traits, removing them, leaving faceless, shapeless forms in their place. While that was going on, the Tebadrons successfully managed to stop the railway from supplying Barbarous with, well, supplies, encountering a few new noble faces in the crowd. After a bit of forethought, the party elected against terrorism and war crimes, and instead decided to simply continue the siege and deny Barbarous supplies. In the interim, Caleb has begun to interrogate the prisoners you took from Barbarous, one of whom revealed himself to be a former Tebadran mercenary, who, after being exiled from Tebadra for wishing to leave military service, has taken to mercenary work for the highest bidder, which is currently the Scar Concord, or at the very least, Barbarous. In exchange for the lives of himself and his crew, he has freely given out what information he can, although Caleb, of course, seeks to confirm it before making any final moves. And Caleb and Lucian, when we last left off, had begun to discuss the situation with the prisoners who were about to be experimented on by Barbarous, and while they could not reveal much about the nature of the experiments as they were kept away, they could, however, reveal something unintentionally useful. One of the prisoners, a blue Cambion, revealed that he had been enlisted before his abduction by the general who Zephyr had bested, to supply him with what were meant to be healing potions, but unfortunately, due to his poor alchemy skills, had explosive output, and ordered a bunch of them for reasons unknown. That is where we left off. And so, that is where we pick back up. As the two of you digest the information you were given, the Cambion once again just gives you a small, somewhat guilty-looking smile and kind of a nervous dart of the eyes, like he's half expecting you'll kick him out if he doesn't give you something more. I'm
No.
very sorry that I can't offer you more than that.
It's quite alright, actually. Caleb, can I talk to you alone for a minute?
Very well.
You just stay right there, eh?
Not like I'm going anywhere.
Alright, I'm gonna pull him aside.
All right.
Well,
The two
what
of
do you
you...
think?
Go ahead, sorry.
It's okay. What do you think?
Well, not surprised that they don't know too much. Can't imagine they were exactly monologuing about their evil plan in front of the prisoners.
She kind of look of, well, you actually might never know. Well, I kind of had a little bit of an idea if you want to hear it.
What is it?
Well, you know that thing that I can do? You know, the portal thing through trees?
Yeah?
What if I were to, make one for you and me, and we were going to go to, Rosewick for a little bit? Maybe a day or two, and try to figure things out. I need to grab Dr. Knight for some questions, and I think it's very important that we have her here too. Maybe she can see something that I am not. There's a lot here in this research that I found that is really bad news, and I mean really bad news.
Well,
He's
I
trying.
wouldn't suggest bringing Dr. Knight here where we know
Well,
our
maybe,
enemy is.
maybe I can bring the research to her then.
I think you could do that if you wish. You do have a way
Well,
of doing it very quickly, so
I mean, I guess if you don't want to come, you don't have to.
I don't.
She
I
kind of
don't
gives
really-
that I'm joking. She gives that I'm joking, but I'm totally messing with you. Smile.
Caleb just says like, well, I don't really want to leave the troops without the king around. Like, to be honest, you know how they are. They'll probably start doing their own thing, and
She kind
you
of
know,
she stretches a little bit. Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, you did leave an entire country without a king.
yeah, but there wasn't anything that could be done about that.
Well, I mean,
You
it's
had to
not like
come
you're going to
fight.
be gone for long. You can leave one of your general. Did you even pick a general yet?
I mean, we have two of them with us, and one.
Well, it's a good
was
run then. It's a good way to try it. Pick one and be like, you're in charge for this long, and if I'm not back, you're in charge.
I'm already testing one of them and observing another.
Well, do you think the one is ready to be tested more?
I don't think it's wise for me to be leaving right now, but I mean, you're free to do so.
Well,
It could be useful to get more information.
I agree, but I don't think I should go by myself, is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Why, you think there's going to be some kind of trouble?
It's kind of hard to say at this point,
I just don't see how I can leave right now. I have a lot more things I need to do, things that need to be prepared.
Yeah, and I don't think that Whatsit should leave in case there's an ambush or something, because you guys are gonna need his muscles. Maybe I can talk.
Maybe you could see if Zephyr wants to go by home.
Maybe, I mean, he could probably go see his dad at that point. I'd give him some kind of motivation to come with me, eh?
Who knows? Zephyr is complicated.
This I know. But if he doesn't want to come, I guess I could ask Aggie. Kind of on eggshells with her right now. She kind of looks a little sad.
I know it's as bad as you think. Speaking from experience, people tend to overreact to these kinds of things.
Well, I kind of triggered, I guess, her on accident. I didn't know.
What did you say?
What didn't I say at this point? She's very sensitive about her family, especially her mother. I really shouldn't say more than that, but...
Well, I'm sure whatever it is, you didn't intend to do it, so it's probably not that bad. Just as long as you realize it and don't do it again.
I'm trying really, really hard, Caleb. It just seems like I'm one step behind.
I know the feeling.
Anyway, you go to tend to your things. I guess I have a trip to make.
Yep,
Do we have somebody here that I can message message me if you guys need me or anything? 'Cause I might be gone for a couple days.
I don't know. I'm sure
Maybe
one of-
Matt, would I know at least Autumnfall would be able to contact me, right?
Certainly possible.
Certainly possible.
Cody's just like, yeah, I'm sure one of the Autumnfall people know how to do the messaging stuff.
Yeah, they're magic, so it should be fine. Alright. I will go and pack up all the things that I found, and I guess I'll go try to find Zephyr. Alright, good luck.
Caleb will take his leave. If I remember right, the guys Caleb questioned, they told him that there might be like some kind of like group that's working against Barbarous, like from the inside.
Yes, while the leadership that they last checked had been completely taken out, by their reckoning, if that group survived, they had to have picked a new leader. And while again the replacement leadership would be completely unknown to him, he does remember where they would meet, but he's only willing to show you where that is if you let his crew go first.
Yeah, and Caleb. Oh yeah, that's right. Caleb was gonna need someone to do a truth spell just to check.
Oh, I could do that before I leave. And just grab Lucian
I
before
think
she
Caleb
leaves.
also wanted to have the other leaders there.
Well,
I remember what Caleb's plan was.
okay, well, I guess if you want, you can grab Lucian, and since she's heading that way, she can go grab Aggie and Autumnfall.
So I guess Caleb will be like, "Oh, by Lucian, before you leave,
Hmm.
I could use your help with verifying this information I got from our captives.
Sure.
I need
Anything I
you
can
to.
do.
You think you could get the queens? So then,
Yeah.
whatever you
Easy
need
peasy.
to prepare a truth spell."
Easy peasy. Easy peasy.
Tell them to meet me outside the tent we're keeping the prisoners,
All right. I will do that.
and you come with them.
Okay. Amanda.
Lucian, while you're going to do that, Caleb, any preparations you yourself want to make before the ladies arrive?
Let me see. I don't think there's really much Caleb can add to it. I guess I'll just try to find. I guess he'll try to find like Volpine and like maybe suggest that they put together like just like one or two people to go kind of check out the. Oh, he didn't tell us where they're meeting, did he?
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Caleb can't verify it that way then, because he wouldn't even know where to begin to look for these people.
Mm-hmm. All right, and before we get into all that, then Zephyr, anything from you before all that begins?
No.
All right, Lucian.
Mhm.
It doesn't take you too long. Making your way to the leadership's tent, the royal enclosure, as it were. You're quickly able to see Sundragon is currently outside, just kind of pacing, seems a little distracted. And while you do not see Autumnfall, you can hear her as she mumbles, sounding kind of aggravated and elvish from the tent.
Can I pick up what she's saying with my observant feet?
Yes. Well, you wouldn't even need observant. She's not a quiet lady when she's angry.
She's angry.
Yes, you can distinctly hear. I swear this arrangement is going to be permanent, Agnes, if I find your disgusting undergarments in this tent a single additional time. And you see what appears to be a nauseatingly used shirt tossed out of the tent. Agnes kind of winces as she sees you approach and rubs the back of her neck awkwardly.
Lucian's covering her mouth. She's trying so hard not to smile and laugh. But it's reaching her eyes. She can't hide it too long.
Autumnfall at this point stomps out and seeing you kind of quickly takes a breath to compose herself, slicking her hair back and kind of giving her head a flick to put her ponytail back into place before she crosses her arms, pointedly not looking at Agnes as she looks at you impassively. Prolific here. Is there something you need?
She's like trying so hard not to laugh. Yeah, give me 2 seconds to compose myself. Oh my god.
She glares at Agnes, who just smiles in return.
It's fine. Caleb has some prisoners that we all need to go see. You want something to do? Come on.
Yeah, sure. I can knock a few skulls around if you need. That's about all you're good for.
Well, I was gonna ask you while we're walking. I was gonna ask you if you wanted to go on a trip with me.
Oh, where?
Well, I was gonna, kind of make a portal to Rosewick for, maybe a couple days.
Sundragon immediately smiles and moves to accept, but Autumnfall just puts a hand on her bicep and... To what end, exactly? You're not abandoning us, are you?
No, of course not. Why would you think that?
She just quirks a brow and stares at you.
Her smile quickly turns into a frown. I'm going because I have important research to report to somebody who knows a little bit more than I do about all this.
Ah, this insider I've heard so much about.
Mm-hmm. And I just wanted backup in case something bad happened.
You think the traitor is a double traitor?
I certainly do. I think that the traitor is going to hurt somebody I love quite dearly, actually.
Sundragon's face darkens, as does Autumnfall's. Queen Autumnfall releases Agnes's bicep, and Queen Sundragon cracks her knuckles. When do we leave?
Let's see what Caleb wants to get from you guys, and then we'll leave right after. We can use the tree right outside this tent.
Alright, Autumnfall puts a hand on Agnes's shoulder and... Wait here. Calm yourself down. You have no use to anyone when you're upset. Agnes kind of pointedly quirks a brow at the irritable elf woman who just rolls her eyes. My anger is composed, precise, like a beautifully made rapier. Yours is more of a morning star.
I was gonna say like a viper, but, that works.
Oh, do not compare me to such a vile animal, Elefakir.
Excuse me, vipers are so cool. They're excellent mothers.
My venom is far more precise.
So you understand the comparison.
She gives a ghost of a smile before gesturing towards the prisoner's tent.
I kind of, as she turns, I look to Aggie and be like, huh?
Agnes does not appear to be looking at you. She's looking towards the tree you indicated and kind of walking towards it, seeming distracted, before suddenly just rearing back and slamming her fist into it, cracking the bark.
Lucian just kind of like, you good?
She kind of startles and looks over her shoulder like she hadn't expected you to be watching, and pulls her knuckles back and covers
Lucy
them before you can
doesn't
see if there's any marks.
I
Yeah,
squint.
yeah, I'm fine.
I squint. Do I see blood?
Roll perception.
Suspicious squinting. Suspicious squinting from Lucian. Perception. I have a 9 in perception, unlike Omen, who has 0. Natural 20, so 29.
There is little flecks of blood, but more concerning are the splinters.
I kind of give up. Come here.
She kind of pulls back with a flinch.
I give her a stern look. I can't let you take care of me if you don't let me take care of you. It's only fair.
Just go. Don't you have something you need to do? Just, I'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Fixing your fingers.
At this point, you hear down the way from behind you, Queen Autumnfall pipe up. Oh, for God's sake! And she just strides past you and grabs Agnes by the arm and points to you, Lucian. Go, we'll meet you there.
Lucian just kind of... She looks really, really sad. But she turns quick... Tries to turn as quickly as she can before her eyes start tearing up. Okay.
You can hear the two get into a whispered argument as you go, but it's too quiet for you to make out the details.
How long is it taking them?
I'm gonna try to cry as quietly as I can.
And not very long. This is all transpired in like 5 minutes. Why?
Okay, because basically, if they were taking too long, Caleb was just gonna go over there himself.
Yeah. All right. Caleb, you're not left waiting at the prisoner's tent for long. You see Lucian arriving. She is coming from the direction of the royal tent, but the royals are not immediately with her.
Her eyes are a little puffy. Her eyes are a little puffy.
What
Nothing
happened this time?
I really don't want to talk about it, Caleb. Okay. I'm just here to cast a spell, okay? She kind of wipes her eyes.
Who knew elves could be so dramatic?
After about 10 minutes, both queens reemerge. Sundragon looks remarkably more composed, and you can see that her fingers are cleaned of the blood and the splinters have been removed. However, you can still see the marks. A healing spell was not used. It was simply mundane methods. And you can see light marks on her lip from where she was presumably biting them to keep quiet while this was happening. Autumnfall, for her part, is currently wiping her fingers with a handkerchief and kind of gives you a slow look that's hard to read, Lucian, before she turns her attention to Caleb. And
Lucian just kind of gives it's kind of like a ghost of a shrug.
as she stuffs the handkerchief into her dress,
Caleb, as they approach, Caleb's just like, well, unnecessary drama aside.
Quite. You have need of us?
Yes, I thought you should be present for this. I already did a little bit of questioning myself, but I'm going to have Lucian here use the truth spell to try to confirm the information. I thought this should be a simple way to involve the two of you in the information I thought you should know.
She glances inside the tent briefly before her eyes flick back to you. What have they told you thus far?
Let's see, if I remember right, Matthew, they told us how the mask worked, right?
Yes, that it's effectively a ward against magic, however it is limited in its capacity.
Yeah, and then he told us about there being kind of almost like resistances against Barbarous. and then they might be meeting somewhere.
Mhm.
Is that everything they said?
Roll history.
This is why I made Caleb proficient in history, because I am not.
Too bad.
17.
Beyond that, the only other thing you recall, and it does strike you as potentially noteworthy, is they mentioned that the masks were not built by Barbarous himself. They were imported from somewhere out west, and the make is distinctly elvish.
Oh, and he also said that their water supply goes through like a filter.
Yes. So yes, the water supply is clean. The masks are elvish and came from out west. And other than beyond that and personal details, the only other noteworthy thing, which is technically something you already know, but since it was repeated, it may well bear repeating, is that Barbarous is getting guns from Gyogre.
So yeah, Caleb. Well, he told. Well, for one, Agnes will be glad to know that any messing with the water plans are off the table because they have a system of cleaning their water.
Thank the gods.
Also, they told us that the masks are. They told us about those anti-magic masks. They're apparently wards, elvish make from the west. They do actually have a limit. They can only stop so much magic. So they can actually be overpowered, potentially. And only the most loyal troops are given them. And then he also mentioned how there are some of the non-humans of Barbarous do actually have a bit of a resistance against him. Unfortunately, their most recent leadership has been taken, but they may have new leadership and may be regrouping somewhere that they know. He'll only give that information if we agree to let him and his men leave.
Well, I suppose if they do not return to the city, it's of no concern to us what they do. She
I thought the
glances.
same.
She glances to Sundragon, who gives a nod and crosses her arms, seeming to kind of collect herself and be more focused on the situation. Yeah, alright. So,
I'm going to have Lucian cast a truth spell so that we can maybe confirm this information to make sure they are speaking the truth.
quite frankly, I don't trust these people as far as I can throw them, at least without magic. She kind of smirks slightly. You can see Autumnfall kind of roll her eyes, but give a playful grin.
We must keep in mind the truth spell compels them to be truthful but does not compel them to speak.
Oh, we have our own methods of assuring that. In fact, I may be of some assistance if the need arises.
Hopefully, they will be willing to speak to try to further the deal I offered. But we may need to keep that in mind just in case.
Autumnfall gives a nod.
Out of
Agnes.
fairness to the deal, I'm not going to ask them the location until a deal is made. Just out of respect of the deal.
How honorable of you. Her expression is kind of neutral, but you can see Agnes give you a smile that seems approving.
Alright, let's go. Yes, I did notice how you left someone with them, it seems.
Agnes and Autumnfall look to you and tilt their heads.
Wasn't there like a dwarf or something?
Yes.
The the dwarf. She said that one of y'all told her to stay here and that she could not leave, especially if it was me telling her to.
Oh, the halfling. Yes. That was not necessarily my idea, but... And she gestures to Agnes. She insisted.
Very well. Let us go in and question them.
Agnes gives a nod, although you can see her gaze kind of shift somewhat guiltily when the attention is drawn to her, having given the order.
Caleb will take note of that.
As you all enter, the men all look up. Most of them are cautious, and a few of them start muttering prayers to themselves. However, Peter just looks at you impassively, Caleb, and crosses his legs to the best of his ability. Thought over my words, did you?
I've been thinking them over, but I wish to confirm them.
On my honor, you'll hear nothing from my mouth but the God's honest truth.
Yeah, we're just here to make sure that that's actually true.
He looks to you, Lucian, and kind of studies you for a second.
Her eyes are still her eyes are still puffy. She's pointedly standing behind Sundragon and pointedly looking like anywhere but her right now.
He studies you for only a second before giving a shrug and looking to you, Caleb, and leaning his head back against the log. Well, do whatever you feel is necessary.
Caleb will look to Lucian and be like, go ahead and cast the spell.
Alright, Matthew, I'm going to message you.
Noted.
One second. I'm on my phone. 1 second.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. I get you.
I sent you the message.
Okay. Well, to respond to it directly may not be necessary. Now, I might be wrong, but I'm control Fing and not having any luck. Do you have Zone of Truth prepared?
Yeah!
What level spell is it, just so I can double check?
I remember if it's 2 or 3. Hang on, let me go to my spell book. Inventory spells. Guidance, level 1. Level 2. Yeah, it's right there. End of level 2. Right there, Zone of Truth.
All I see is Skyrite and Spiritual Weapon.
It's right after Spiritual Weapon. Here, I'll send a screenshot.
Zone of Truth. Level 2 spell. 10
Okay,
minute
it popped up after I refreshed. Please refrain from fiddling with spells before a
I-
long rest.
Because we talked about time.
You cast Zone of Truth. Roll a Wisdom save.
Okay. 1 sec. That's on D&D Beyond. Alright. Ooh, 4 plus whatever my is. 4 plus 9, so.
Alright. While you do stutter and sniff through some of the incantation, you do manage to focus long enough to get through the spell successfully. And it is a Wisdom save DC of 17, or Charisma save, sorry, of 17.
If Caleb was going to add, if it's like a conscious thing to resist it.
Yeah, you can choose to resist it. I believe Lucian will know who has succeeded and who has failed it. But yes, you can just choose to fail
I will know.
Yeah, Caleb is just gonna add. If you want to be able to leave, I would suggest allowing this spell to work.
I have no intention of being dishonest with you, Your Majesty.
do I have in my inventory?
Lucian, everyone in the radius fails the save, with the exception of Queen Autumnfall.
That's interesting. All right. I'll just give her a nod. All right.
So,
Caleb
just as
will kind of look to Lucian to see if there's any. Are they
All
all
of-
under the spell?
All of the prisoners are under the spell, yes.
Alright. I guess first things first. About the. I guess we'll start with the. We'll start with the. I guess, mask. So you stated that, as far as you know, they are not from Barbarous and that they came from the west, correct?
that is correct, Your Highness.
Do you have any of these weapons?
I'm afraid the lot like me weren't trusted with them. They are left only to the regulars and the officers.
Have you seen them?
Oh, indeed I have.
I'm going to get out my notebook real quick, and I'm going to sketch out Kaloom's little fucking sigil, and then I'm going to show it to him. Did it have this sigil on it?
No, I cannot say they did.
She kind of purses her lips and still looks at Caleb. He's telling the truth, but I yet don't understand. Or maybe the people that he works with. You know? Do you know who the Boomerangers are?
The man just quirks a brow and smirks a little bit. What a name. Can't say I'm familiar, miss.
She kind of frowns. I'll nod to Caleb.
Caleb will ask, you said that you believe they have a limit. How do you know this?
Seen it happen time to time. After we were told to start gathering folk up for the underground work, not all of them went without a fight, and they're far sight better with spellcraft than the bulk of us mere mortal men are. We needed a defense against it, and the regulars and officers hadn't. Of course, we were not trusted with it. But it did its job well enough. But you'd see it occasionally. Particularly stubborn elf who refuses to go down without a fight. Casts one too many, and one finally slips through.
Do you
Jab at me?
Would you be able to say what the limit is, or is it variable?
He tilts his head, seeming like he is genuinely just attempting to recall, and chaos of battle, not exactly the sort of man to keep count, but couldn't have been more than 5, maybe 6.
And did you know exactly where in the west they came from? Not.
He shakes his head. Totally oblivious, Your Highness. Lot like me aren't trusted with that sort of intel. For this exact sort of situation, I'm afraid.
Fair enough. Did they at least come in on the train?
Not exactly sure where they came from. Honestly, I initially thought it may have been the Knolls handing them over. Something they found in that little dig-away they're making out in the desert.
Do you know anything about that encampment?
Only that they're searching for something the dear governor wants for himself, and the Knolls were paid a pretty penny to be the first to bring it to him. But whether that was the masks or not, I cannot say. But I do have my suspicions.
What are those suspicions?
Are we really going to waste our time chasing the rumors of a prisoner?
Yes, any information is useful. We can sort out later if it's true or
I
not.
believe
Well, right now we know it's true, so I mean, it's not
We
like
know
it's.
he
believe,
thinks it's true.
Well, there can be some truth in that even.
Go ahead, Gil.
I believe Caleb is under the effects of the spell, right?
Yes, if you chose to fail, yes. Basically, you're not obligated to speak, but anything you speak has to be at least what you understand to be the truth.
If you are willing to share information, I give you my word. I will honor our agreement and let you go. You can
He's-
ask. You can ask her. I'm under the effects of the same spell, so you know I'm being truthful.
To trust the word of an interrogator. Now I know I truly have gone mad. But, as I told you, I have no intention of keeping it from you, Your Majesty, as long as you're willing to hear it.
Very well.
The runes are Yavik magic. Couldn't have been imports from overseas. But, as I recall, well, there's a few mage kingdoms here and there. The two biggest ones would be Wicket and Autumnfall.
Mhm.
And Wicket's only good for blowing things up, fireballs and the like, transmutations.
Lucian
Enchantments would be more the realm of a sorcerer.
pointedly, Lucian like crosses her arms.
Caleb, as Caleb says this, he kind of looks back at Autumnfall. So you're saying her own kingdom supplied these?
Probably.
That's at least my working theory. I
They,
recognize a few of these marks from times we've raided them in the past.
So you think at the very least, someone from Autumnfall is supplying the very thing that's stopping Autumnfall today?
Aye. This is ridiculous.
it's not ridiculous. I mean, how else are you going to find the cancer until you find it?
She quirks her brow at you, and sniffs
Me?
before
Me?
turning her nose up.
See?
He's clearly just trying to stir up infighting in the enemy encampment. It would be wise to ignore him.
Well, he certainly at least believes what he certainly believes this is his speculation, so it's not something he's necessarily making up on the spot.
Aye, and mere speculation is all it be, Your Highness. Speculating in front of a noble lady can cost you your head. Apologies, Your Highness. I'll be sure to bite my tongue.
I guess moving on to the other area. You said you know. You said that you know where. You said you know where to find a group that might be resisting Barbarous in his own kingdom. Is that
Aye.
true?
Aye.
You said their lead. You said that some of their leaders have been captured recently, correct?
Killed by my recollection, but captured if they survived, certainly.
And if I agree to let you go, you will tell me this location, correct?
Aye. Although, as I say, I promise you no use of that intelligence. If we knew that that was still a place they would meet, it would likely have already been burned. We assumed that what was left of their little rebellion likely scattered when their leaders were taken out.
Well, any information can be useful.
Hmm.
If you provide me a location, I promise you that you will be set. You will be allowed to leave this battle. I will not allow you back into the city, but you may leave this battle and relieve yourself of this situation.
Oh, I'm afraid on that we're going to have to disagree, Your Highness. The deal I negotiated for was the freedom of my men in exchange for taking you into the city to the place where it is. If I just tell you where it is and you head off alone, how am I to know you won't simply shoot me in the back?
And how will we know that you guys aren't going to, tell your little buddies that we're on the way?
He gives you a smirk and leans forward. You don't. But it appears you already may have worries of enemies in your own camp as it were anyway.
That aside, if you would rather, I could have you show me where it is, and then I'll let him go then.
Nay, then you'd simply kill us because we're of no further use to you.
That is not my... I do not wish to do that if you do not give me reason to.
Aye, but reasons can always be found. Ain't that right, Your Highness?
Careful, it might get too hot in here for you. Not to Agnes, but to him.
Mm-hmm.
I will... Very well. I will allow your men to leave as long as they do not head back to the city. They may go wherever they please, except they may go wherever they please, barring Toradana or anywhere is under Barbarous' control.
Not much use for a burned mercenary, now is there? Boys, the other mercenaries turn their heads up.
Before Caleb has it done, he will look to the queens and be like, "Is this deal agreeable to you?"
Agnes gives an enthusiastic nod. Yeah. What's the harm? Otherwise, they're just extra mouths to feed anyway. And as awesome as it would be if they would join us, I don't think that's going to happen. Wait, you guys are Tibadrons. Maybe if we pay him enough.
He gave me the impression he wants to wash his hands of this situation.
Aye. Sorry to disappoint, Your Highness. Haven't disappointed this many ladies in one sitting since my last time in the city.
Oh, gross.
But yeah, this is great. Perfect, actually. Honestly, wouldn't have it any other way. Ray? I still say we should remove the disrespectful man-thing's tongue. But I am outvoted. You may walk, but understand that no man has lived to irritate me twice.
Is the halfling here still?
At the moment, yes, but they are stationed outside the door.
Alright, Caleb will get them and tell them to go ahead and let his men go. And Caleb will say, "I will let your men, ideally your men shall leave, and you shall show me this location, at which point you are free to leave as well."
You do me great honor, Your Majesty. What a pleasure to be back in Tibadron service.
Yeah, no king means no opportunities.
Aye. Boys, he goes to continue his previous order. Wash your hands of this job. The silver already lines our pockets. Make your way out of the valley and wait for me in... And he kind of considers for a moment, weighing his options. Wait for me on the outskirts of the Sprintwood near Dumbledore. I will meet you there if I live to tell the tale.
Caleb will bring the halfling in and tell them to start letting them free.
They give you a nod and a smile. Okie doke! But you do notice they look to Agnes and Rice, who both give a very brief, subtle nod, at which point she actually begins to do it.
And we should probably make sure some people ensure that they do as he told them to, and they leave the camp away from the cities.
Queen Autumnfall gives a nod, and after a bit of consideration, leans into you and whispers, I would be more than willing to cast a spell to make myself unseen and follow them from a distance. At least ensure they get far enough away from our camp that they won't return.
Caleb will nod, like to like affirm, like yeah, go ahead.
She gives you a small smile and leans back. You're all free to leave. And I do hope that you will speak highly of Autumnfall and Western Alliance hospitality to our enemies. Agnes pulls aside a Sun Dragon Barbarian from outside, and while you can't hear the details of what is said, you both can faintly hear that she is ordering supplies be brought to the prisoners so they can actually survive the trip out of here.
Oh, that's my girl. Lucian just smiles fondly and tries to not stare too long.
As the prisoners, Sans, the leader, are released, the leader himself just tilts his head and smiles to you, Caleb, as Sun Dragon is currently occupied handing off supplies to the prisoners. Autumnfall gives the two of you a nod, and to Caleb, she looks to you and says, I will ensure that everything is in order. She gives you a subtle wink. And to Lucian, she looks to you and, after kind of staring at you for a moment, gives you a small courtesy nod, and she looks like she wants to say something for a moment, but she glances to Agnes and shakes her head and just gives you another more obvious nod. Friendlier, a little less courteous, before following her out.
Lucian has a curious look as if to say, you can say it.
She just quietly shakes her head at you as she leaves, leaving the two of you alone in the tent with the man, who just leans back and smirks at both of you. Well, it appears I may have stirred the proverbial cauldron, as it were.
Lucian kind of wraps her arms around herself. What do you care?
Oh, I don't.
Exactly, so shut the fuck up.
Maybe you, Lucian. I think maybe you should go prepare for what you were planning on doing.
Fine. She leaves.
Lucian, as you make your way out, Caleb, you are left alone with Peter, who looks up at you with a curious expression.
I guess we should give your, if it is comfortable for you, we should give your men. We should give your men till the next day to get plenty far away. When you are then you can tell us where this location is and show us.
Aye. On my honor, you shall be brought to the once former nest of the rebellion eggs.
It's as good as place as any to start. And Caleb will go ahead and exit. Does Caleb see where their captured cannon is?
Yes, it is currently in the center of camp, not too far from the library, with a few, like kind of a few people from every kingdom, like in terms of those at the camp, gathered around it, kind of discussing with each other how to go about repairing it.
While they're all doing that and Aggie is distracted, I guess, is anybody else staying here to let her know that I'm gonna go find Zephyr? There's somebody I can talk to. I guess I'll look around and see if there's somebody I can just leave a message for her.
All right. As of course, there's people all over the camp. Shouldn't be too hard to find somebody.
Alright, I'll just find, I guess, a fellow sun
I'm gonna
dragon
be right
just
back
to,
while
like,
she does that.
Go ahead.
and just tell him, I'm gonna go find one of my team members. When Her Majesty is ready, let me know.
He seems a little confused, but does give you a nod.
Thanks. And I leave. I'm gonna go find Zephyr.
All right. Zephyr. After the better part of a day spent resting and looking over your inventory, you do see the familiar head of Lucian approaching your sleepaway area, searching around, given the distance from camp, presumably looking for you.
Zephyr, are you around here?
One of my legitimate favorite things about Zephyr as a character is that even something as simple as returning a greeting is something that he has to like think out. Because I'm tight.
Didn't sound like a.
No, I'm aware. I say that for literally every bodily function because it bothers people.
It was a burp.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Are you okay?
It was a burp, but
Destructo burp.
It didn't sound like a burp, is what I'm trying to say.
I just drank some.
Okay.
That'll do it.
Just because, why not? I want to put mayonnaise in.
Lucy's already having a bad day, you little shit.
He doesn't know that.
That's fair.
Lucian, as you search the campground for the kobold, a massive spill of mayonnaise gurgles on the ground in front of you.
Oh, in front of me? I thought it was on me. Oh god, I would have probably thrown up. She stops in her tracks before her boot can hit the mayonnaise, and she looks up. That better not be bird shit.
Where would I get that?
Your giant bird, duh. Where is that thing anyway? It's kind of hard to miss.
It's gone, but do you need something?
Yeah. Well, no. I wanted to offer. I'm kind of making a portal run to Rosewick, and I know your dad's there, and I know that you were looking for him for so long, and you've been a little apart from him, and I guess I just wanted to see if maybe you wanted to go visit your dad for a little bit.
My dad even there?
Roll history.
I remember there was something.
Point of inspiration. I was curious if anyone was going to recall this.
Yeah, no, we talked about this earlier.
30-20.
Zephyr, you would definitely recall that your father had made it quite clear that he was going to accompany you on this trip and join the militia. And even if you told him not to, he would simply sneak along and come anyway. So, he is definitely nearby. Unless he went back on his word, there is no chance he's in Rosewick anymore.
Alright. I'm back.
Hello.
What's going on?
Lucian was doing the invite for Zephyr to potentially tag along to Rosewick, but Zephyr remembered that his father said, like, I'm going with you on this, and even if you tell me not to, I'll just be a few feet behind you sneaking.
Well, not sure where you get your information. I believe my father's somewhere around here. But
Sorry, it's just a lot of reading lately. She kind of rubs her temple. Sorry for bothering you. I'll go. She starts to turn to leave.
First, did you meet me there?
She kind of stops. And she's staring at her feet for a long time. I think I do. I'm sorry. I'll go. I'm sorry.
Off the tree.
Lucian, as you turn to leave, you see Zephyr scuttle slowly down the tree before coming to a stop at the edge of the mayonnaise pole.
Mayonnaise pole?
Cool, but yes, yeah, Zephyr dumped mayonnaise in front of Lucian to announce his presence.
You can see that, you probably can hear it too, that she's tearing up a little bit. You don't have to. I mean, I have Aggie coming, but I don't.
Better than here.
Alright, get your stuff ready. I don't know when she's gonna be done, so, when you're ready to go, I guess just, come find me by her tent. Thanks. She kind of sniffles and shuffles her feet a little bit before trying to turn again.
Look at that. We got a Zephyr and Lucian moment.
Kind of sweet moment. I'm a little teary-eyed. I didn't think we'd ever get here.
And it only took 145 episodes, 4 specials, and a movie, Eddie. Alright. Zephyr?
Oh no, you might not be far off.
Oh my god.
Actually, I paused because I was looking up, like, roughly how many episodes it had been.
Oh
Except for the
my
4 specials, I made that up.
god.
Uh,
Oh my god, I'm literally crying right now.
Alright. Zephyr, any preparations you need to make before joining her at the tent? Alright. Lucian, you make your way to Sundragon's tent. Zephyr, keeping pace not far behind you. Seeming a lot more at ease and relaxed. And by the time you arrive, the sun is beginning to set. Night will be falling soon.
Oh, good. Darkness. It will hide my puffy eyes. Perfect.
And the two of you see Sundragon is already leaning by the tree she punched, kind of just stretching her fingers. Again, seeming kind of distracted, but as she sees the two of you approach, she shakes her head and sits up. You see that Autumnfall is nowhere nearby. She approaches with a smile and puts her hands behind her head in that kind of casual pose. Took you guys long enough?
I had to find him first.
Hey, Zeph. So how much do you have to pay you to get you to tag along, huh?
I'll leave the tears of my soul. That's all. Ready to go?
Yeah. Ray says she's sorry she can't make it, but whatever that prisoner said has her real shaken up. Guess she's off to interrogate to see who let some stuff slip from the palace.
Yeah, I bet she's not happy about that. I know I wouldn't be.
The guy was probably full of crap anyway.
I mean, I know he was telling the truth, so...
Well, he thinks he was telling the truth. Ray said it, remember? She knows a lot about magic and stuff.
To be fair, so do I.
Fair.
But, you know, still learning.
Aren't we all?
So let's go.
Alright, so, who am I pummeling?
I'll tell you when we get there. There's too many sensitive ears here.
Oh, alright. I've always wanted to do a political hit.
I'm gonna go to the tree that she punched. Since we're so familiar with it now. I'm going to take the specific part where she made contact, put my hands around it, and I cast Transport via Plants to go to the tree that was right outside Rosewick.
Okay. Zephyr, I'm assuming you were coming along?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to check, because it would totally be in character for you to be like, oh yeah, I'm coming, and then just like fucking dip. Alright.
But he's not that much of an
Oh, no, I
asshole.
know. I honestly feel like something he would just do to be funny, like force Lucian to do extra spell slots. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I had to stop and tie my shoe. You don't even wear shoes! Alright. The three of you vanish into the trunk of the tree as it slowly rots at the contact of Lucian's magic. The three of you emerge in a night-lit Sprintwood. Rosewick visible in the distance. You can see the torches of a few bandits on patrol, but with the militia gone, it is noticeably a lot quieter. Rosewick is normally fairly active at night, but now it's silent. And Lucian, you can immediately make out a few of the guards on the walls just kind of almost falling asleep in place.
Wake up, sleepyheads! Good morning. Dobre Otra!
You can see one of the bandits wrapped in a cloak that hides a thick-looking head with bushy
I
hair.
look at the clock. Wait. It's not morning. Dobre noche.
He leans over and squints at the three of you blearily and says in thieves' cant, so Zephyr, you understand this. What are you doing here? Is everyone dead?
Lucian has that very quick moment of panic when she doesn't know what to do.
Zephyr, do you respond?
It was a massacre.
Oh my god!
For my reference, are you actually trying to fuck with him? Roll deception.
Oh my god.
I'll leave it to Zephyr.
Okay. Gotta. Oh, one.
Zephyr, while to your credit, your tone is always pretty monotone. You can see that the man kind of stares at you for a moment and, seeming to read something in your voice, gives a smile and a and he turns and gives a whistle to wake up a guard on the other side of the gate. You can hear him stumble kind of and still completely in thieves' cant. Not a word of common has been exchanged yet. Hey, Tiny Prince is back. Let him in. Wait. Tiny Prince or not as Tiny Prince? Not tiny! Like, and you can see he does the hand motion of, like, little.
They're gonna regret that!
Let's see, I thought it was gonna be like, no, that's Tiny King. There's Tiny Prince, then Tiny King.
Well, they can't both be tiny.
Sure they can.
The gates are thrown open, and you're both immediately inundated with a small group of Tebadrins who seem pretty happy to see Zephyr. One of them gives you a wide smile, Zephyr, as they begin escorting the three of you into the city. Welcome back, well, I guess it's still technically Your Majesty. How are things on the war front?
It seems like it's going up.
Hear that, boys? It's going okay! Yeah!
Oh my god. And I just love them. Lucy is just kind of like confused, but claps anyway.
Well, what brings you all the way out here? You can see the guard that had answered the gate and opened it.
I just need to go to the apothecary.
Oh, I came all the way out here for a grocery run, huh?
Came to see my mama.
He does give an affectionate smile, but Zephyr, you can hear him kind of playfully clucking thieves' cant. Wizards. The one who had referred to you as Tiny Prince climbs down from the wall to approach you, Zephyr, and gives you a wide smile. And again, still in thieves' cant. And you, Your Majesty, what can we do for you?
I figured I could do shopping and that's mostly about it. Figured honestly it was kind of boring over there. But over here for a little.
And several of the other thieves laugh as well, and you can hear the one who had spoken earlier kind of clap one of the other Tebadrins on the shoulder, and you hear that? Warfront's too boring for him!
They say that in common, or?
Yeah, that's only the guy that Zephyr is immediately speaking to is doing exclusive thieves' cant. Honestly, you're not even sure if he knows common.
No. That would be a judgment that she would make, yes.
Well, I'm not sure what's all going to be open this time of night, but you might be able to catch everything before it closes. We'll spread the word. I'm sure if they know it's you at the door, they'll answer. And, you, miss, I'm sure you remember your way to the apothecary.
Yes, of course.
And, at this point, finally, everyone's attention turns to Sundragon. For the first time, she is not the center of attention when people walk into an area. She kind of gives a friendly smile, seeming unbothered by the lack of attention, and grins at everyone. They all kind of stare at her for a minute before you start to, it's like a fucking one of those waves through a football stadium. You just start to hear this uproar of like, whoa!
Lucian's arms just cross.
Agnes does the same, but you notice it's just to accentuate her
yeah,
assets.
yeah. I'm gonna step in front of her. Down, boys.
The one who speaks exclusive thieves' cant calls out, "How much does she charge per night, huh?"
I'm gonna hiss at him. I don't know that. I don't care what he said. I'm gonna hiss at him.
She just kind of pats you on the shoulder, and
my head whips around her. Don't you start.
she gives you a smile and takes her hands off you in a surrender motion. What, jealous?
Quite.
Oh, come on. It's Tebadra. I'm sure you could find some game if you know where to look.
Ugh. I don't want any game.
Well, I do. And she nudges you aside to approach the crowd. Anyone who could take me in arm wrestling gets to take me for the night. And the Tebadrins all erupt in cheers and start fishing in their pockets.
Lucian pouts. You know what? I'm gonna fucking get in that. You know
Dr. Knight, completely forgotten.
Fuck it! You know what? I'm gonna do it!
Alright.
Fuck it. Fuck it is choice words.
Fuck it. Okay, first of all, guidance on myself.
magic to cheat.
You cheater!
He didn't say I couldn't. I'm
You
just
are-
saying.
are the major.
He didn't say I couldn't cheat. I'm learning from them. I'm learning.
I mean, it is part of our motto.
A Tavadron is always cheating.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself to give myself a +2 for my AC.
What does AC have to do with anything?
I smell hint of desperation in the air.
Fuck you, Matthew. I love you too. All right, I don't trust D&D Beyond. I'm getting my up and I'm getting.
Yeah, that stands to reason.
I'll be right back.
Nat 1. Nat 1.
In the
Nat
meantime.
1.
I hate all of you.
Nat 1.
I
Nat
hate all
1.
of you. You suck.
Zephyr, what are you hoping to buy while you're in town?
I'm using my best dice.
Nat 1. Nat 1.
Was looking to potion shop still open?
As they mentioned, most things are about to close, but if you hit them quickly and of course announce yourself, like you're the prince, like they'll almost certainly at least give you the time of day.
Okay.
So what potions are you hoping to pick up? Let me pull up the shopping list again.
74. Okay. This is a strength, right?
Yeah,
Saving throw?
athletics, which you have a -4 to.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
Come
she's
on,
so
please.
cursed.
Jester dice. Give
For the
me
moment,
mercy.
since she hasn't it's been a hot minute since she's gone over like a proper rest, but
Jester dice, please do me justice. May the luck of Laura Bailey be with me. Are you fucking me?
yep, knew it.
I love this dice.
All right,
Peaches! Hang on, I gotta mute myself.
yeah, do what you gotta do. So Zeph, potions.
Yeah, mostly just going from some more potion of speed. Was also going to grab some, what was it called, like ball bearings or bag of
Yeah, the bag of 1,000 ball bearings.
ball bearings, bag of 1,000.
Okay. Okay. All right. So for the bag of ball bearings, 1 gold, easily done. For each potion of speed, just for my clarification, is it like for haste or just like an outright like speed boost?
What do you mean by that?
I was just double checking whether it was like basically is it the same potion you got last time?
Yes. Is there
Okay.
another one?
Yes, as they mentioned, the reason they were delayed last time is because there was just like a lot of orders, but they've gotten some new ones in stock, one of which is a potion of haste.
Yeah, but isn't that what potion of speed is?
I believe haste works differently, doesn't it?
It literally, potion of speed just gives you haste.
Oh, okay, I see. But yes, and it'll be 750 for that. However, you can, if you wish, try to haggle. You are royalty after all. The elderly potion maker gives you a smile. You can see that, to your surprise, while yes, the shop does look like it's essentially closed, she does not at all stop you from entering, and just gives you a smile and leans over the counter. And what can I get for you?
I was hoping to get some restocking on some potions.
Have my previous doses served you well?
Yes.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I assume more of the same. Your parents named you well, Zephyr. And she will supply you with as many potions of haste as you like. I guess just let me know how many. I doubt you'll clean her out, but just in case, do let me know how many you're planning to buy. Alright, so yeah.
4, 750.
Your anxiety service dog starts to service you because she thinks you're anxious, but you're actually excited. He just, I'm fine.
Alright, I'll buy 2.
Alright, you may add 2 potions of speed/haste to your inventory. And yes, I'm assuming you can afford the 1 gold for ball bearings.
Yeah. I'll buy a couple more, but yeah.
Okay. Similarly, easily done. Anything else you wish to buy while you're about?
Nope.
Okay. Zephyr, as you're out shopping, Lucian, as Sundragon starts engaging with the various Tebadrins, as she sees you approaching, and basically, I imagine just rolling up your sleeves.
Yeah,
She,
I'm gonna roll my d4 as well.
She kind of quirks a brow at you and leans in, her blonde curls coming in to cover her face and shield it from anyone even reading her lips as she kind of hisses to you. Not like in an angry sense, but more just like trying to be heard without being loud. What are you doing?
What do you think? I was gonna do the contest.
She kind of pinches the bridge of her nose and stares at you for a moment before... On second thought, and she leans back and throws her hair aside. You guys gotta pay for this game. And you can hear a bunch of people like, ah! And like, yeah, and you hear the person Zephyr had been talking to, and well, neither of you can understand him, and thieves can't call it. Told you!
Wow.
And she grabs you by the arm and starts kind of tugging you, seemingly in just a random direction since she doesn't know the city, but just to get you away from the crowd as everyone starts quickly diverting their attention once they realize they can't just presumably do what you exactly were going to do and cheat their way into her bed.
I don't care. I was trying to get in her bed. I was just trying to get her.
And quickly their attention turns to instead just openly fantasizing with each other of what it would have been like.
Oh.
But it quickly fades into the distance as she, again, just kind of heading in a random direction northward, tugs you deeper into the city before finally letting you go as the two of you slip into an alleyway, and she leans back against the wall and puts her hands in her pockets. Is there a problem?
I don't know, is there?
Didn't you have something to do?
I brought you here for a reason. I wanted you here with me.
Her brow kind of furrows, and she kind of puts her hand through her hair and...
Flaunting yourself like that is not what I wanted. I needed you here because I don't know if I can trust her.
You still haven't even told me who her is.
Dr. Knight.
She kind of blinks a few times, and her expression kind of steals a bit as she gets off the wall and leans forward. What'd she do? I thought she was on our side.
I did too, but after everything that I've seen and everything that I've read, something doesn't add up, Aggie. That's why I'm here.
What does that mean? What do you mean something doesn't add up?
She told me that when we were supposed to be, I guess, not really a cure, but like a stabilizer. We're stabilized. We're supposed to be. But it's all wrong, Aggie. Everything is wrong. Everything I do is wrong. I'm wrong. Okay, and I just need to know if this stuff from Dr. Kaloum is right. And if I'm really just a monster. I need to know.
Whoa, Lulu, relax. You're not
No,
a monster.
I am. I'm not even Lucian. I don't know what I am anymore. And it's just like you don't care. Everything I say to you is wrong. Everything I do is wrong. Well, maybe if Lucifer is right, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I do need to go back to the chair. Maybe I do need to get fixed.
It's not your fault. Fuck. She leans back to the wall again and runs a hand over her face. It's me, okay? She gestures between the two of you. This is not something I do. It's never been something I've done. I told you that. I told you that the first day you said you wanted to try this, that I've
never done it either. This is my first time.
Well, then how do you know if you're doing it wrong if neither of us have done it before? It's not like I would be able to tell you if you were fucking it up anyway. Just... People don't keep me around, Lulu. They just, Ray's right. I'm a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, but you're my pain in the ass.
I'm serious, Lulu.
I'm sorry.
Before Caleb came to power, other than my sister, I've tried everyone in the Alliance. Some of us, we even lasted for a while, but I don't do this. Ever. I can't. I wander, Lou. I can't do what you do. Stay in one place, think things out. I've always wandered. It's part of why I even agreed to do any of this.
I wander too, but I miss home sometimes. But here's the thing. I don't think it's home anymore. I don't know what I don't even know what home is. Maybe just Yav.
Maybe. It's home for me.
That's
as home as anywhere is.
That's why I'm fighting so hard to keep things right, to do things right by Yav.
Then focus on that.
You don't understand.
You're right, I don't. Because
I'm doing it for you, okay?
I never asked you to do that!
I don't need you to!
I'm not like you. I'm a wanderer, but I have things I need to do. A certain kind of person I need to be. Being a wanderer is part of that. It's the same bullshit Caleb's having to deal with, and I'm trying to make sure he doesn't make the same fuck-ups I have. Your people look to you and they expect you to do things the way they do, but you gotta do it better. You gotta do it the way they do without making any of their mistakes. And that's always what Sophist raised me to be. To be the example. Good or bad, doesn't really matter. She kind of slouches in place. I don't need anyone anyone's help. I just need time to breathe, time to think. I will have an answer if you just give me time. We'll figure this out. You don't need to... I don't know what you need. And I don't think you do either.
I need to be fixed. So I can be better. So I can't do those things for you.
So...
Maybe old Lucian would have been better. I don't know. I can't know anymore. I don't...
You're right. Because the only person who can answer that question is an enemy. Who lies. Who's out for himself. And even if he is on our side, you've told me sometimes that you don't trust him. Sometimes you told me you do trust him. And...
I want to believe that something went on there. They told me that when he and this Kaloum imposter were together at first, they did not get along. But they worked together for days. And then suddenly they were getting along like nothing had happened. Something happened to him, Aggie. I just know it.
Why?
I looked him in the eye. That's not my brother.
You're right. It isn't. Remember how I told you that Ray and I hated each other when we first met?
Yeah.
Then remember how I told you just now that we were together for a while?
Yeah.
People change. Some people. And sometimes other people change for you. Other times, they just have their own shit going on. And it's not on you to fix it. It's on you to adapt. That's all any of us can do. Just work with what we've got.
Though, I should have been there.
It's not like it was your fault you died, Lucian.
It is. I should have gone with him that day. I shouldn't have. I should have just gone with him that day.
It's too late to go back. Trust me. You're gonna... I speak from a lot of experience. That you're gonna tear yourself open and bleed everywhere, trying to figure out things you could have done differently, that it was somehow your fault.
But now, because of me, I have to kill him. Every Eleftherian has to die. They're all Ichor beasts, all of them, including myself. So maybe this will work out, because I do have to die, Aggie. You understand that, right?
No, you don't.
I do!
Explain it to me.
I am a monster. This stuff inside of me, it can't be fixed. The shit that he has been doing, that man has been doing, proved it to me. You can't just separate the souls. You can't. It's not possible.
You're gonna take the word of our enemies over me, then.
I've tried everything. I've done every formula. I've studied this 1,000 times.
This isn't math, Lucian. This isn't science. It's people. And people suck sometimes. I suck. You suck. Zephyr sucks in his own special little way. But, and this goes for all of you, I'm out here fighting on your side, not his. Because I know, rather, I guess I have to believe, that if our positions were reversed, if it was me not knowing what I was, what they had done to me, and I wanted answers, that you would fight to make sure I got them. Real answers. Not the ones I come up with when I can't sleep at night. Destroying yourself doesn't fix anything. All it does is means none of us are going to get answers. Ever.
That's why I can't sleep. I don't need sleep. I need answers. That's
Answers
why
take
we're
time.
here. That's why we're here, Aggie.
And what are you going to do if she gives you an answer you don't like? What are you going to do if you come up with a new reason that you don't believe her? Ray said the same thing that I saw. She's only known you for days and she can see the same thing. You want answers, Lucian, but you don't take them when they're given to you. You have an idea of what you want. I don't know if you even know what it is yourself, but whatever it is, until you get that, you're not going to be happy. And I can't give that to you. I know I can't.
Nobody can. I want to be Lucian again, and I can never do that. Do you understand?
Who decides who Lucian is? If you had told me years ago the things I would be doing, the people I'd have met, the people I'd consider my friends, I would have punched you in the mouth. But
What,
here I
this
am.
thing? Really? No, just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And I can give excuses. I was drunk. I was stupid. I was lazy. I was horny. Whatever. Does that make me any less than who I am? Do I stop being Agnes because I did something I wouldn't have done a few years ago?
Let me ask you this. Would you stop being Agnes if there was another soul stuffed in there with you?
No.
Then
Because
no.
I would know I'm still Agnes.
This girl, this Crystal, she's the one that makes me like this.
Let me ask you something. I don't understand a lot of what you talk about when you read out of those notes of yours, but one thing I've picked up. You said it doesn't work if you're not very similar to each other, right?
Yes.
Then why is sharing a ride with someone who's already just like you? Maybe you'd get along if you just gave her a chance.
That's the thing is, it's like, we went down and we found another laboratory where they had a DNA reader. A DNA is a piece of strand that makes up the body.
Just explain it to me like I'm stupid.
It basically tells you where you come from, like you're in your blood.
Okay.
For us Ichor beasts, we have two types of blood. We have the blood from the originals, Lucian, Alefikir, and then we have the other blood from this crystal girl. They're, how you say, mushed together.
That much I've gathered.
Okay? There is a certain amount, a percentage, you know, kind of like a piece of pie. Imagine a piece of pie, okay? Like a big pie.
Lou, point.
I'm trying to explain it in words you will understand. You see, a whole pie is 100, okay? A big half pie is 50%, 50%, okay? 50% is what you have to be compatible.
Sounds about right. So what's the problem?
Mine fluctuates. Mine goes up and down. And I don't understand it.
Well, I think it's obvious. This. And she gestures to you.
That's why I need to be fixed.
No, you're not understanding me. This isn't something that someone can fix for you. And even if they could...
Kaloum said... Lucifer said Kaloum could.
And you're trusting him.
God, no. His diary reads like a 12-year-old.
Though, which is it, Lucien? Do you trust him to actually have a solution for you, or do you hate his guts? It can't be both.
I don't have a choice, Agnes.
You do.
I
You
don't.
can accept what you are and move on. Who cares which one you are?
I don't want
Lucien,
to...
Crystal, doesn't matter.
I
You're
don't...
here. Your heart's beating. You're talking to me.
I don't want to be this way. I don't want to be an Icar beast. I
You
don't
feel
want
her
to
grip on your shoulders tighten before they pull away.
don't want to be a monster. Because all Lefikirs have been monsters. Except for my mom. You talk about your mom like that. I never got to. My mom was great. I didn't get to know her a whole lot because she was gone a lot. But when she was home, she was great. And I want to be just like her, and I can't. It's gonna have to be like him. It's my destiny or some shit.
I never believed in that sort of crap. But, fine. I'll go with you. Talk to your doctor.
I just need to know if she told him about the percentages. That's all I need to know.
I'll be right behind you. She puts her hands in her pockets, but does not look at you.
I don't look at her either. Just give me a minute. She'll know the minute she sees me. You said we're in an alley, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna find like a barrel where drunks dip their heads in and just splash their face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a minute to compose myself.
Yeah. As you attempt to bring yourself back down to earth, Sundragon stares at your back for a moment before turning her gaze over to the moonlit streets of Rosewick, and heaves a sigh, fingers drumming against her bicep. You can see her teeth are clenched and her brow is furrowed, and her breaths are coming in heavy and hot. And she does not look at you.
If you want to go, I won't stop you.
I said I'd be here. I'm sorry. Like I said, I get distracted. I need somebody to keep my head on straight sometimes. Well, I guess it's just who I am. And you feel like that sentence came out a lot more biting than she intended.
Oh. Not that it means anything, but I like who you are.
I'll hear it when you do.
I'm working on it.
No, you're not. Don't lie to me.
I'm gonna turn to her, and she has like the coldest, angriest gaze. I'm not lying to you. I'm trying my best. Don't ever tell me I'm not. I turn away.
Meanwhile, as night falls on the siege encampment in the north, Caleb, you're disturbed from your preparations by a small ruckus developing on the edge of camp. It doesn't sound dangerous. In fact, you actually hear it's mostly people celebrating. Do you approach?
Who are you talking to?
Caleb.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I was
You're
adjusting my headset at the time.
No worries. You are disturbed from your preparations by what sounds to be some kind of ruckus at the edge of the camp. It doesn't sound like it sounds more happy than anything, but it does catch your attention. At this point, night has fallen.
Caleb will head over there.
As you approach the edge of the camp, you can see, judging from what they're carrying, it appears the Tebadrians you sent out to their missions have returned. And your people are celebrating their comrade's return, as are the Sun Dragon people at the arrival of some new drinking buddies. And one of them you recognize being one of the ones you sent to fetch guns from the ship you captured, gives you a smile and steps forward. You can see he's a rather portly man, but dressed in the Tebadrian colors and has one of the stolen rifles slung over his shoulder. He gives you a grin and gestures to the newly assembled men. Glad I caught you, Your Majesty. Sorry we're late.
You brought the things from the ship?
Yes, sir, we did. And he slings the rifle off his shoulder and holds it out to you. Couldn't carry the crates. Bit too, not exactly used to heavy lifting, but we got everything we could carry.
You have everything they need to shoot as well?
Yes, sir. And he holds out a few cartridges and powder horns.
By the way, is it like any different to what Caleb already has?
Let me double check what you're carrying.
Doesn't he have a musket?
Yeah, I'm just double checking, like if it's like any specific modified one. Yes. You can see that it indeed is a similar make, just a little bit higher quality.
Is it like? Does that mean like +1?
No, like mechanically, it's more. These are made by like professional, like artisans.
Fair enough. Looks good. We'll need to make sure everyone gets some practice in with them.
Yes, sir. Managed to fetch, I'd say, about 100 in total.
Very good work. What is your name?
Yeah. He gives you a smile and holds out his hand to you. To his credit, he actually seems rather neutral on your position as royalty and gives you a greeting that would get him marshaled in if it was like at a ball or something. Just call me Rose.
You've done good work here.
Always do my best, Your Majesty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think me and the boys have earned a drink. But if you want us to go and grab anything else, just say the word and we'll head back out into the burns.
Like, at least for now, you've earned yourself a rest.
Thank you, sir.
Caleb will start giving... We'll basically just tell them to just kind of put them in a safe place for now, and he'll have plans involving them in the morning.
Yeah, just gather them up and all.
He'll grab... Is Volpine awake still?
Yes. You can see that he is sitting at the edge of camp, and you can see his nostrils are flaring as he kind of looks out into the desert. Seems distracted, but yeah, he is present.
Is there a problem, General?
No, sir. Just keeping a watch. And he nods to the other group of Tebadrians you sent to scout out the Knoll camp. They say there were gnolls digging a tunnel. I'm making sure that we weren't followed.
Did you see what they were... Were they bringing anything out?
You'll have to ask them, but I didn't see them carrying anything.
Alright, I'll talk to them in the morning.
As you say, sir. I'll pass along word.
I was just going to say, also, tomorrow I want you and Goldie to... oh, goody. Shit.
If it makes you feel better, I just refer to him as Rib.
I want the two of you to get some of our, I guess, see if you can find see
Crack
if you can.
shots.
I would imagine people who are experienced with crossbows would be more applicable.
Eh. From what I've been told by the family chef, you remember, again, the black market arms dealer who worked in the castle for a while, it is not too difficult to pick up the basics. I will inform Goody to gather his best men and make sure they're equipped.
I want to have them do some practicing. I believe we should have hopefully enough ammo to fit that in.
We'll have to conserve, but should at least be enough for a few days' training, it looks. Anything else, sir?
That will be it. If it's not too much trouble.
He just gives you a nod and turns his attention back out into the moonlit desert, nostrils once again flaring as it seems like he's attempting to pick up any knoll scent.
I guess other than that, Caleb was just gonna ask the people with the cannon, do you know how long it's going to take you to fix that?
You can see one of the Tibadrons answers you first. You can see he's a rather skinny man, long curly dark hair, kind of a wide-brimmed wool hat, and small spectacles over his eyes that he adjusts to look at you. Well, sir, I'm afraid the mages aren't as much help. They don't have anything that can fix it, but we are lucky. From that train job, we managed to get some parts that actually might be able to get attached to it. It'll be slow, but it'll get the job done. I reckon it should be ready to be, and he kind of waves his hand like he's not sure what the word would be before giving a shrug. It'll be shooting in a couple days.
Alright then.
He gives you a nod and kind of a somewhat nervous-looking bow before slinking back to the cannon, seeming a little more at ease working with the machine, quote-unquote, rather than dealing with people.
I guess Caleb will take the note and we'll leave him to it.
All right. Anything else from you before you go down for a rest?
I guess not.
All right. Zephyr, anything from you before, like basically anything else from you, and if not, what are you going to do next?
I don't have any plans, so I guess we'll wait for Lucian.
All right, so you're going to make your way to Dr. Knight's then?
Should I go home?
All right, just sleep in the castle, I guess?
Yeah.
All right.
Home sweet home.
I guess I'll message Zephyr and see where he's at. On my way over to her anyway.
Okay. Zephyr, for your part, not particularly difficult. As mentioned, the shopping area is pretty close to the castle, so you just quickly make your way towards home. And while the guards that you are familiar with went with the militia to march, you do see a couple troops standing guard, and they don't give you any trouble. They just give you a nod and smile and welcome you before allowing you entry. As Caleb and Zephyr bunk down for the night, Lucian. Once you compose yourself and begin making your way to the apothecary, Agnes follows. However, her eyes are not looking at you, instead just kind of taking in the sights of Rosewick. You're not honestly sure if she's genuinely just distracting herself with sightseeing or if she's just giving herself an excuse to not look at you. But she does follow you at a small distance.
At this point, Lucian really doesn't. At this point, Lucian really doesn't care. She's too angry.
Anything while you're on the way to the apothecary, you're just going to make your way there?
Yeah, I'm gonna send a message to Zephyr and let him know. Hi, Sal. that I'm heading to Dr. Knight's, and he's welcome to join if he has any questions for her.
Okay. Zeph, do you respond?
Yeah.
All right. Lucian, you know the message was received, but you do not get a response from Zephyr.
Eh.
And after a short while, you find yourself at the still seemingly abandoned at a visual apothecary that has been acting as Dr. Knight's home.
You're welcome to come inside if you want. You don't have to, though.
If she is doing what you think she's doing, I definitely have reason to.
That's why I brought you. Not just because I think you're pretty.
She steps forward and slams her hand on the door to knock. And there's a bit of quiet before the door slowly
Quickly,
opens.
before the door opens, just quickly fix my face, fix my hair, fix my dress.
I'm afraid the Oh.
Hi.
Hi. Who's your... Wait, hold up. Yeah, skip over it. It's not important, seriously. Mind if we, Oh,
Best,
yeah.
Yeah, best if we don't make a big deal about it. Can we come in?
Yeah, of course, sweetie. And she scuttles to swing the door open and allow the two of you entry. As you enter, you immediately notice that a lot of the kind of dispersed laboratory that was once here has been gathered up into bags.
Can I ask one important question before you continue describing?
Please.
Does she go in first, or does she allow me to go in first?
She goes in first.
Okay, that was for my personal notes. Thank you.
Altogether, most of the active research appears to have been largely abandoned in favor of keeping it mobile. And Dr. Knight goes to her usual stool, which has been lowered but not removed, and takes a seat on it, while Agnes, for her part, sits on a counter, notably between you and her, in case she has to intervene. And she quirks an eyebrow at you, finally actually looking at you, but her expression is hard to read. Dr. Knight clasps her hands together and leans forward.
Oh, she knows.
So, what's the matter, sweetie? Did you come by alone? Is everything going all right up north?
Zephyr's somewhere.
I'll pay him a visit.
I wouldn't. I'm gonna sit down, crisscross applesauce. Boom! In the middle of my lap is the giant bag of holding of all of the research and shit that I got. I have some talking to do.
Oh, well, I can always make time for you, sweetie. And she makes herself comfy on the stool. You can see Agnes kind of tilts her head to look at her curiously before her expression turns back to you.
Lucian does not look as friendly as she normally is with her.
What'd you find?
You have some explaining to do.
I find I have to do an awful lot of that. I'm gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling.
What did you tell Dr. Kaloum about the Ichor? Did you tell him about the percentages?
Sweetheart, I told you I didn't even know about the percentages until around the time you found me. It was a theory, but I didn't have anything substantial. It was only thanks to all those mechanicals down in Edict that we had anything close to real answers. Why?
Does she look like she's telling the truth?
Roll insight.
Hang on. Come here, dice tray. I don't trust you, D&D Beyond.
I know you don't.
Okay, not bad. Not a natural 20, but not bad. Let's That's a 17 plus 9.
As far as you can tell, she's telling the truth. She seems just genuinely perplexed by what the problem could be, and sincere that, yeah, true to her word, she, again, anything about making stable Ickerbees was purely theoretical until you guys met.
I'm gonna pull out Dr. Kalum's work and kind of not slam it, but like not gentle either. Put it on her desk.
She stands up on her stool to reach it and hoists it open to kind of just quickly flick through it.
I've
What's
read
all
the.
this?
I've read this thing back and front. It's it's his take.
Kalum's?
Kalum imposter. He's not really Kalum. You know this.
We've been over this, darling, but that's all I got to go on.
I like to call him the Kalum imposter. Anyways. Yeah, this is his take. It's kind of actually really fun.
I bet it is. So much for I would never stoop to messing with this sort of thing, huh?
Yeah, it's actually interesting how he sees them. I hate to agree, but maybe it can be cured. I mean, we found a way to stabilize it, and I'm going to ask her something. I need you to be straight with me.
Always. She is still kind of flicking through the book, but she does pause briefly to look at you.
Can I cast a truth spell?
Please? I got nothing to hide from you, sweetheart.
I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
Sundragon and Dr. Knight both fail.
Okay.
Now, what do you want to ask me about? What is all this?
Lucian just kind of leans back. He has been working with the type to make Iker human. He's trying to make everything that's magical not magical. Wants to turn us, me, an elf, to a human with Iker.
I remember. That was the only reason he joined the Concord in the first place.
Really?
Lady White had no intention of giving it to him, but...
What do you think that he would ask? Like, how do you think that came to that? Because from this book, it seems that Dr. Kalum Imposter is quite chumly with the tyrant.
Chumley's not the word I would use, sweetheart. We have to do a lot of sweet talking in the inner circle to keep people on the outer circle on our side. I wasn't usually the one doing the negotiations, but I was at least there for a lot of them. You know, look intimidating, make sure they know we mean business, that sort of thing. And he never usually dealt with us directly. Heck, we didn't even have inner circle members deal with him most of the time. And most of our negotiations with His Royal Majesty, she kind of rolls her eyes, went through, well, I guess not really his father anymore, but the old king. And she kind of gestures in the direction of the Tebadron castle. It was his idea to get Barbarous involved.
I wonder, do you think it would be possible that some of the memories are kind of incubating, same as us?
That's maybe possible. Why?
Maybe I could question him while we're here. We're not here for a long time.
Well, I could definitely tell you're not just here for the pleasure of my company. Is there something I can answer for you, sweetheart?
I'm gonna pull out all of the silver serum that we got.
Her eyes kind of widen, and she finally completely turns her attention away from the book to look at him.
This is why I came.
Oh. You need some tools?
Can you teach me?
I can.
Will you?
She
Please?
pauses for a long moment before sighing.
If I can't hear it, please help me stabilize them.
Sweetheart, I told all of you and promised it to myself. All of this dies with me. Nobody else needs to know how to do this. This is dangerous. It's
What's coming? Look at what's coming. You know what's coming.
Sweetheart, I know well what's coming, better than I think you do. I was in the room with her, watching what she does to people, watching what she did to me. We all have every right to be afraid, but this isn't the answer, I promise you. I know it's not.
If we can't make a cure, at least we can stabilize, right?
Sweetheart, you're stable, and there's nothing
No.
to be cured.
Not for me.
I'm
The other.
I'm making stabilizers as fast as I can, but you gotta give me time.
Like more. So you can make more. I know you're doing your best, and I appreciate everything that you do. But we have to see it's not their fault.
I know it's not, sweetheart, but it's not that I don't have enough hands. Your little mousy friend you left with me has been a real help, but it's not a question of hands, sweetie. It's a question of what we're willing to do. There's only so many ways I can get the stabilizing ingredients without doing what I did before. And I'm not going to do that again. Never.
I'm not going to ask you to.
And I'm not going to let you. And she shuts the book and pushes it back towards you.
I'll take it. But sorry. I just you know that my brother brought all of them back.
Yeah, you told me. He always said he was going to do it once we got the formula right.
Every single one. And I thought for maybe a minute, if I could maybe stabilize them, maybe it would be okay. That I wouldn't have to kill my whole family.
Sweetheart, maybe they're not. Maybe they're fine. We didn't. You lasted near of a decade without stabilization. And you could think, you could speak, you could feel. And if he thinks they were ready, maybe they turned out like you. Just a little shot and they'll be fine. Maybe. But
Liz shakes her head. You didn't see what I saw in the maze.
she slips down back into her seat and puts her head in her hands and... Sweetheart, be honest with me. How many people would you be willing to kill for them?
Just breaking down crying. I don't want to kill anybody.
Then I need you to trust that we're doing the best we can. I'm sorry that I've left us with this mess to clean up, and I'm doing my best to help you mop it, but making the mess bigger ain't solving nothing. It's just gonna make it harder on all of us.
It just doesn't make sense. You said that we were stable, and Russ's got hurt, and he's kind of been acting a little weird.
If it got into his blood, then more than likely the new infection's probably trying to take over, but your blood outnumbers theirs. Worst case scenario, it's equal. Unless you were confronted with a triple hybrid, which shouldn't even be possible.
Well, she kind of taps the book. He tried. several times.
Of course, that man didn't listen to a God's damned word I said.
No. He took what you said and turned it into something horrible. Something worse.
It was already something horrible when I started.
These are worse.
I know. I believe it. Because I know whatever he's doing never would have made you.
If we can't make a cure and we can't make a stabilization, can we make a weapon? That would be effective with this stuff? I understand
Dangerous.
it to a blacksmith, but or somebody who knows how to deal with this special silver, but do you think it would work?
Sweetheart, it's possible, but
Too much guesswork. Too much guesswork. I don't like it.
I'm sorry. That's what happens when you pioneer a new field. You don't know the answers until it blows up in your face, and you take notes afterwards.
She kind of glares at her at the blows up in your face part.
She kind of shrinks away as if you slapped her. I'm sorry. I'm doing everything I can, but if we want to be on the right side of this, we need to be careful. And I know it's frustrating, darling, but doing things this way, it's only going to make it harder. Believe me. Do you understand what I had to do what I did? So many good people, innocent families.
I'm just gonna start unpacking all of the notes and just like not leaving eye contact. I understand completely,
Lou,
Doctor.
she glances to Agnes before looking to you, and her gaze hardens. Darling, I love you. You're my own flesh and blood. But I will not let you spread this. I will not let you put yourself in danger.
Who said anything about spreading? I want to cure it.
There's nothing to cure. You're not broken. I made something new. That's what you are. Something new. Something different. I tried to make it better. Maybe I failed. Maybe there wasn't anything to fix to begin with.
Well, according to his research,
He doesn't know! He makes machines, Lucian! Weapons! Things that kill people! I just wanted to help. He never so much as touched a drop of this stuff, and I'm guessing they only put him in charge because I'm not there. Are you really going to trust the word of a man who's only been exposed to this for weeks? Who's trying to make something to kill over me?
no.
I don't want to believe him, but I do want to believe that it can be fixed. That I don't have to be this way anymore.
What's wrong with you?
Everything. Lucy says I'm wrong.
Of course he does.
You is wrong.
I told you not to let him get in your head. Why did I even let you talk to him? Sweetheart, do you understand the kind of people we were? The kind of person he still is? Your little friend, Caro? I watched him tear her family away from her because he didn't care. All he cared about was you. And if this, and he gestures to you, wasn't good enough, I brought you back from the dead. I made you better than you were before. And that wasn't good enough.
I'm not good enough. That's the thing.
Why do you need to be good enough for him?
I need
You're good enough for me. don't get to pick and choose who loves us. We just have to take what we get. You taught me that. You know? That the best I could do if I wanted somebody to really love me was to trust that they would love me for who I already was, that I didn't need to change, and that if that wasn't good enough, that I didn't need him.
I taught you that.
You did. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm curing this, stabilizing it, rather than making it worse. Because I don't want to change anymore. I like who I am.
Good. Because I like who you are too.
Then trust me. I need you to believe I'm doing everything I can. But you bending over backwards to make him see something you're not is only going to break your back and nothing else. If I know him half as well as I think I do, if he's decided that you're not who he wants you to be, then all you are is something that's in the way.
Funny. That's how I learned how to do cartwheels. I'm literally bending myself backwards to entertain him when we were little. I kind of miss him when he's gone. Already gone. Just like I said, that's not my brother.
She looks kind of confused before looking to Agnes, who kind of shrugs a little helplessly, and she thinks that guy, Kaloum, did something to him. You said apparently they were close back when you guys were, you know. Right. Yeah, that's true. Lady in White was so sick of them fighting all the time, she locked him in a room for a few months.
He did something to him. I don't know what, but I have a feeling it has to do with that eye. Maybe
Sweetheart,
perjury?
I was the doctor for everyone on the Concorde. I didn't install it, but I made sure that socket didn't get infected. It's powerful. I've never seen technology like it, but...
Well, maybe it's the eye. We learned that kind of things can mess with you, you know.
Sweetheart, even if you're right, even if there's something I missed that is making him act different, she gives a kind of helpless shrug at you.
Kind of looks down. I've already accepted it, okay?
Even when we were alone, it really did seem like you cared for the man. Much as anyone could, I guess.
He thinks he's in love. It's disgusting.
Why do you get to decide that he just thinks that?
I'm telling you, he did something to him.
Dr. Knight hesitates, and Agnes steps between the two of you and crosses her arms and looks down at you sternly. And what if you're wrong?
I have to kill him anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
At this, she actually smiles and gives a sigh, looking to Dr. Knight, who kind of shakes her head nervously. All I can give you is, as a doctor, I may be an oath breaker, but I still know what I'm doing. There wasn't nothing wrong with him other than the damage, well, that was already there. I had to make sure none of your blood got inside of him, and what any blood there was didn't stick.
Yeah. That was another worry.
So I can promise you, all that eye's doing is telling him what's in front of him. Maybe a little bit extra, but Kaloom's not a man who finagles with magic. He only likes to toy with his machines. And I may not be an engineer, an artificer, but I know that I certainly can't think of a way that an eye is controlling his brain. Not to mention,
Well, I mean, it is on his left hemisphere. I mean, it could control some things, especially memory.
you said it yourself. Does it really matter?
No.
So you're not here for him, and you're not here for me. And she sits in front of you and crosses her legs in a kind of mimic of what you had done. What can I actually help you with, sweetheart? Because it seems like you have all the answers, and is it just that you need to hear it from me?
Just, I've looked in every corner. I've done everything, all the research, all the math, all the science.
But
He kind of gives a vague shrug. You're right. Maybe I'm fine how I am.
growth isn't always a straight line up. You know, there's plants that, if you put them in the right conditions, will grow upside down, grow down instead of up. I've seen botanists back home make trees that could twist in all sorts of directions if you get them just the right way. And I think that's what you are. You're a tree. You want to grow up towards the sun so bad, but you're just planted upside down. You'll get to the sun. You just need to figure out which way you're going first.
Maybe. If I give you the silver stuff, could you make more?
I could.
All right. I'm gonna give her all but one vial. I'm gonna keep it for myself.
She stuffs them into her coat and sternly looks to you.
I want to study it.
Just be careful.
I know not to touch it. I'm not crazy.
It's not just touching it, sweetie. I told you before I shouldn't have even played with the stuff to start with. I know that now, and I don't want you to learn the same way I did.
She kind of frowns and looks at the vial. Takes a deep breath. Hands it to her.
Good girl. She pockets the last vial. I promise you we will find a way out of this where you can be safe.
Speaking of safe, she kind of puts a finger and looks to Aggie.
She quirks a brow.
Is there a safe place that we can have her? I don't trust that she's... I love you, but my brother's kind of looking for you, so I want to find a safe place for you.
Dr. Knight's eyes go wide, but she gives a nod and gestures to the case you had been unpacking. thought that might happen. When I didn't hear back from you for a while, I decided just in case I should be prepared for the worst.
They're looking for you. They don't know. They don't know that we've been working together. I didn't say. I lied.
It's fine. If they get me in front of the lady in white, it won't matter if I lie or not.
Well, I'm trying to avoid that loss, of course. Aggie?
Agnes does go to respond, but Dr. Knight actually kind of touches her leg to get her attention and shakes her head. It's all right. I've already got a plan. And she looks to you, Lucian. I told you I was ready to leave once this was all over. I think it's been long enough. I'm gonna make my way to the coast. Norman will pick me up there. We're gonna go home. Far away from all this.
How will I get all the care stuff?
Stabilizers, not cures. This isn't
How-
a disease.
How will I get the stabilizers?
She licks her lips nervously and considers for a moment before. Memories. You mentioned memory incubation. It's a stretch, but part of the stabilization is we always wanted them to share memories, so that it would be a perfect transfer. If you can get a little more familiar with your other half, she's from the land I'm from, over the sea. If you can remember what she remembers, I can tell you a good spot that she recognizes. I can meet you in the same place where we grabbed her. It was a forest. There's lots of trees. You can do that little portal thing you do.
Mm-hmm. How do I do that?
She gives you a smile and puts a hand on your knee. That's a journey you have to make yourself, sweetheart.
Don't tell me to look inside myself. Stop it.
She gives a kind of awkward smile and gives a sort of sympathetic shrug. I'm sort of afraid that's the case, sweetie.
It made me throw up the sentiment stuff.
It's...
I'm
if
just
you
kidding.
want to look at it more meditatively... Now, it's a long shot. I haven't exactly gotten the chance to study this like I wanted, but from what I've seen of my creations, you need to be at peace with yourself. Be happy with who you are. If you keep denying parts of yourself, you're going to block her out. Your blood isn't spreading anymore, but it still doesn't want to give up its space. I've given you the stabilizer, you just need to trigger it.
How do I do that?
I already told you, sweetie. Make peace. There's nothing wrong with you. And we can't control what anyone else thinks of us. Gods know, if we could, I wouldn't be here. None of us would be. All we can do is make the best of it. If you need to change, maybe change. But remember, it's not a straight line. Sometimes you go down, sometimes you go up. The only direction you're definitely always going to be going is forward. You know, I'll always just be a message away.
Yeah. Just try to be as careful as you can.
Always.
He can be quite tricky, you know.
With Captain Peacock dead, not like he has much of a way to get to me, even if he wanted to.
Well, I'm gonna think I'm gonna be here maybe another day or so because I need the rest to be able to do that spell again. So,
Yeah. I'll I need to take my time to do some writing anyway. I want to make sure all my all my little rugrats have something to remember me by.
Okay, I guess. Guess I'll go find Zephyr.
Oh, if you're going to find him, then just can you give me one minute?
Oh.
You two just wait outside. I understand if he doesn't want to see me, but I'd not feel right leaving home without saying something to him.
Sure.
Agnes kind of gently nudges you as the two of you head out. As the door shuts behind you, she leans against it and heaves a sigh and puts her hand through her hair.
Lucian's already sitting on the ground. Her knees to her chest.
Shit. That was heavy. You're telling me you really considered having me rattle the skull of that sweet little lady?
I didn't want to, but if I had to, I just had to hear it for myself.
She kind of gives a slight sort of snort, but just kind of crosses her arms and leans against the door.
She's still holding her knees to her chest and wraps her arms around them, but looks the other way, away from Agnes.
For what it's worth, I'm happy for you. I never had that, what you and her have. You deserve it.
After my mom died, she's the closest thing I have.
Well, she made you. I guess she's basically your mother now.
Yeah.
She's right, though. You do
What
have something. Something special. Not just you, but everything. You know. I never got to pick what I wanted to be, Lucian. My people chose that for me. You, Caleb, Zephyr, What's-His, all of you. You're special. You get to choose. You're probably the first people in Yav whose destiny wasn't decided from the moment they were born.
It's not entirely true. At least for Lucian's half. I had so many expectations. Why do you think I'm named after my dad?
Where did they expect you to be?
I don't know. Nowhere
Huh.
good. Nowhere good.
I can take a wild guess and say that they never would have wanted you to be here. Yet here you are.
Here I am.
Like I said, you're special.
Or
Those two tend to be shared traits I've noticed, but all of you, there's a chance for you. A chance the rest of us don't have. Maybe that's why we need you. This Icker stuff, the lady in white, they're trying to change things, make things different. Barbers is trying to take stuff away. She jerks her thumb to the apothecary. She was trying to make things different. And here you guys are somewhere in the middle. Sort of what you used to be. Sort of something different. And now, a new third special secret option. That's going somewhere else. Whoever this Kaloum guy is, imposter or not, I believe her when she says that you're just a weapon to him. Even if he cured you, what would be the point?
I wouldn't let that man touch me.
On that, we can agree.
I can't wait to strangle the life out of him.
Try to get something useful out of him first, at least.
I can talk to him when he's dead. It doesn't matter.
She kind of quirks a brow, but chuckles a little bit, but doesn't say anything further. After a moment, the door opens, and Dr. Knight peeks her head out and holds out a small letter to you, stamped with the emblem of Tebedra. Here you are, sweetheart.
Oh, is this for Zephyr?
Yes, and give him my love when you see him. I know he won't want it, but Mama loves him anyway.
I'll make sure to pass on the message.
Thank you, dear. And, Agnes. She holds out a finger so that Dr. Knight can shake the much larger digit.
Oh, God.
She leans in. Agnes kind of raises her eyebrow, but leans in as well. And Dr. Knight whispers something into Agnes's ear. Agnes furrows her brow for a moment before leaning away and giving her a nod. Like you even have to ask. Come on, Lou. Bet Caleb's castle's way fancier than mine.
No.
Good then. That's how you know he's with the cool kids.
What is? Let me ask you. What is cool kids?
Lucian. And she
Explain.
puts a hand on your shoulder, like with all the gravitas, like she's about to tell you about a dead family member. Something that I'm afraid you will never be. Infinite destinies or not, I'm afraid that's something unchangeable.
Oh.
As far as I can tell, that's in your blood twice.
Oh.
If this crystal girl's anything like you.
Oh no.
It's not all it's cracked up to be. You end up passing out in a lot of weird places.
I do that anyways. So am I the cool kids, as you say?
Just for saying it with that voice, absolutely not.
She kind of looks confused, but kind of shrugs, enjoying the attention.
Come on. Let's go find Tiny and Grumpy.
Which one's tiny and which one's grumpy? Because Zephyr's kind of both.
Well, two halves. Tiny and Grumpy.
You have a point.
Now you're getting it. She kind of pats you on the back before leading the way casually towards the castle, the one landmark she can actually make out.
We'll turn back and I'll wave to Dr. Knight.
She gives you a smile and a nod before disappearing back into the apothecary.
For her sake, I hope she...
What's that, Lou?
I said for her sake, I hope she runs.
Sounds like she's planning to. Sounds like she just wants to make things right with you and the others beforehand.
Yeah.
It's a shame. She seems sweet.
I think genuinely she is. I think genuinely she just wanted to help. And it just, unfortunately, fired. She kind of winced at her own words.
Believe me, I've been there.
So have I. I've died because of it.
Yeah, I guess you got me beat there. Worst it's ever gotten me is a bruised ego and jaw. I am sorry about what I said. Like I said, I don't do this. I guess I'm just not used to not being what people need. I try to help everyone, you know, and I guess when I can't, I just get frustrated. I'm sorry.
I get the same way, actually.
and I feel like completely useless, I kind of implode.
Ah, you're not useless. Just do a little too much thinking. She kind of playfully, just like kind of casually side kicks your shin.
And I'll be like, well, maybe you can help me start doing it. I'm gonna like lightly punch her bicep.
It hurts your knuckle more than anything, but she does smirk at you and gives a nod. Yeah.
Ouch.
I don't know about you, but Royal Silk sounds a lot better than an inn bed. You think Zephyr will be mad if I go through the wine stores?
I really honestly think that he doesn't give a shit.
That's my boy.
And
You go
honestly,
find him. I'm gonna find the cellar.
I might actually join you because I need a drink after that.
Suit yourself.
Zephyr usually tends to himself. He knows we're here for a few days.
Nah, knowing him, even if we forgot about him, he'd just probably get there before your teleportation.
Let's go find that wine.
Any final business from you, Lucian, other than drinking and partying?
Nah.
All right. Then, as another night of the siege of Toradana proceeds, the Tebadran scouts have returned, most of whom have good news. Tebadra has been armed with better weaponry, with somebody competent to train them to use it. Some artillery has been acquired and is in the process of repair. And while the report of the scouts has not been heard yet, they at the very least have definitely lived to return it. And with the prisoners released but chased away by the Queen Autumnfall herself from Barbarous, you're slowly whittling down Barbarous's troop counts. With any luck, perhaps this inn at the city's potential rebellion might be exactly what you need to finally begin this battle properly. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Just a moment here. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to resurrect from the grave like a filthy necromancer who needs to make peace with themselves. Fucking nauseating. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network. Wherever you have to get your podcast from, you can probably find it there. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Human Rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Killer5. That is 5 with a PH, don't get it wrong. And if you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. That link to be posted in chat. On Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Odd Tornado Productions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd. The TNO are capitalized if you want to get immediate updates whenever we go live, as well as updates on everything else we're doing. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time for our Monday game, Under Locks and Keys, featuring a party of globe-trotting treasure hunters trying to assemble the artifacts of the gods in a race against technology-worshipping cultists. Thanks everyone at the table so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.